The pot roast sat heavy on my plate while my brother Kevin droned on about his latest corporate milestone. So the regional director personally called to congratulate me on the quarterly numbers. Said I'm on track for senior management by next year. That's wonderful, honey. Mom beamed, passing him more mashed potatoes. A real career path. Stability. Benefits. Dad nodded approvingly. That's what success looks like. Hard work in a real company. I pushed food around my plate, checking my phone under the table. The Fortune 500 PR team had sent the final confirmation an hour ago. The announcement would go live at 7 p.m., in exactly 12 minutes. Entrepreneur of the Year in the digital marketing category. My company, Apex Digital Solutions, had been selected from over 2,000 nominees. Emma, are you even listening? Mom's sharp voice cut through my thoughts. Sorry, what? Your father asked what you've been doing lately. Still playing around on the internet. I was 31 years old. I'd built Apex Digital from my apartment 6 years ago into a full-service digital marketing agency with 42 employees, offices in 3 cities, and annual revenue approaching $28 million. Our client roster included household names, tech giants, Fortune 100 companies, major entertainment studios. But to my family, I had an internet job. Still doing digital marketing, I said evenly. Kevin snorted. Digital marketing. That's basically Instagram ads, right? My company has a whole team for that stuff. Entry-level kids fresh out of college. Something like that, I murmured. You know, Emma, Dad set down his fork, preparing for a lecture I'd heard dozens of times. Your mother and I are concerned. You're 31. No husband, no stable job, no retirement plan. Kevin has a 401k, stock options, health insurance. What do you have? Stock options in my own company worth approximately $15 million. But who's counting? I'm doing okay, Dad. Okay isn't good enough. Mom's voice carried that edge of disappointment I'd known since childhood. When are you going to get serious about your future? This internet thing is fine as a hobby, but you need a real career. Kevin could probably get you an interview at his company. They're always hiring for administrative positions. Kevin leaned back, smug. I could put in a word. Probably start you around $45,000. Not great, but better than whatever you're making now with your little website business. My personal income last year was $3.2 million. But sure, $45,000 sounded great. That's generous of you, I said quietly, watching the clock on my phone. 8 minutes. We're just trying to help, Mom continued. Look at Kevin. Corner office, expense account, company car. That's what we want for you. Security. Respect. Not this freelance internet nonsense. I appreciate the concern. Do you though? Dad's tone sharpened. Because frankly, Emma, you're not getting any younger. Your mother and I won't be around forever. What happens when this internet fad dies out? You'll have nothing. No skills, no experience, no safety net. The internet fad that had generated $28 million in revenue last year. Right. Kevin's wife Jennifer joined in, her voice dripping with false sympathy. Emma, honey, have you thought about going back to school? Maybe getting a real degree? Marketing is so competitive and without proper credentials. I had an MBA from Northwestern. Graduated top of my class. They'd skipped my graduation because Kevin had a golf tournament that weekend. I'll think about it, I said, checking my phone again. 5 minutes. Stop looking at that phone. Mom snapped. This is family dinner. The least you could do is pay attention when we're trying to help you. I set the phone face down on the table. My hands were shaking slightly, not from their criticism but from anticipation. 6 years of building something incredible. 6 years of being dismissed, patronized, and pitted by people who'd never bothered to ask real questions about my work. Emma, we're serious, Dad said. This internet thing is embarrassing. My golf buddies ask what my daughter does, and what am I supposed to say? That you post on social media for a living? Do you know how that sounds? It sounds like you don't understand my work, I said quietly. Because there's nothing to understand. Mom's voice rose. You sit at home in your pajamas all day clicking buttons. That's not a career. That's not something to be proud of. Kevin leaned forward, his voice taking on that patronizing older brother tone. Look, Em, I get it. The internet seems exciting when you're young. But eventually you have to grow up. Join the real world. Get a real job at a real company with real benefits. Like yours? I asked. Exactly like mine. Corporate structure, advancement opportunities, professional development. Not whatever you're doing in your apartment. My office, I corrected. Not my apartment. I have an office. Jennifer laughed. Oh, Emma. Renting a WeWork desk doesn't count as having an office. 3 offices actually. Chicago, Austin, and New York. Over 12,000 square feet of space combined. But why clarify? My phone screen lit up with a notification. 2 minutes. There's that phone again, Mom said sharply. What's so important that you can't focus on family? Nothing, I said. Just work. Work, Dad scoffed. At 7 p.m. on a Sunday. You see, this is the problem with these fake internet jobs. No boundaries. No work-life balance. No respect for personal time. My phone buzzed again. 1 minute. You know what your problem is, Emma? Kevin set down his wine glass. You're afraid of real responsibility. Real stakes. In my job, I manage 15 people. I have quarterly targets. Board presentations. That's real pressure. You just, what? Send some emails. Post some pictures. We'd managed a $4.5 million Super Bowl campaign last year for a major automotive client. But sure, I posted some pictures. The notifications started flooding in. First one, then another, then a cascade. My phone was vibrating continuously on the table. Oh, for heaven's sake, Mom reached for it. What is so? I picked it up first, glancing at the screen. The Fortune 500 website had gone live. The announcement was already spreading across industry news sites, LinkedIn, Twitter. My phone was exploding with congratulations from clients, employees, industry colleagues. What's going on? Dad asked, irritated. I turned my phone screen toward them. The Fortune 500 homepage showed my photo, a professional headshot from last month's Incorporated magazine profile. The headline read, Fortune 500 names Emma Rodriguez Entrepreneur of the Year. Digital marketing visionary transforms industry. The table went silent. What is this? Mom's voice was barely a whisper. I scrolled down, reading the key points aloud. Apex Digital Solutions, founded by Emma Rodriguez, has achieved unprecedented growth in the digital marketing sector. With annual revenue of $28 million and a client roster including Microsoft, Netflix, Nike, and Tesla, Rodriguez has redefined how Fortune 500 companies approach digital strategy. Kevin's face had gone white. I kept reading. At 31, Rodriguez is one of the youngest entrepreneurs to receive this recognition. Her innovative approach to AI-driven marketing analytics has revolutionized campaign effectiveness, with clients reporting an average ROI increase of 340%. 28 million? Dad's voice cracked. That's this year's projection. Last year was $23 million. I scrolled through the article. The award comes with a $100,000 prize, but more importantly, it's recognition from the business community that actually understands my work. Jennifer was staring at her plate. Kevin looked like he might be sick. But, you said you did social media, Mom stammered. No, you said I did social media. I said I ran a digital marketing agency. You never asked for details. I stood up, tucking my phone into my pocket. My clients include 17 Fortune 500 companies. We manage over $200 million in annual ad spend. I have 42 employees across 3 offices. Last year, I personally made more than Dad's lifetime earnings in his 30-year career. The silence was deafening. Kevin, your company car? I continued, my voice steady. I drive a Tesla Model S. Paid cash. The apartment you think I work from? I own a 3-bedroom condo in Lincoln Park and a weekend house in Michigan. The 401k you're so proud of? I have a diversified investment portfolio worth over $8 million. Kevin opened his mouth, then closed it. But here's what really matters, I said, looking at each of them. For 6 years, not one of you asked real questions about my work. Not what I did, not who I worked with, not what I'd accomplished. You decided I was unsuccessful and nothing I said could change your minds. Emma, we didn't know, Mom started. You didn't want to know. Because knowing would mean admitting you were wrong. I picked up my purse. I tried to tell you. 2 years ago I mentioned landing Microsoft as a client. Dad said, "That's nice, honey. and changed the subject to Kevin's parking space upgrade. Last year I tried to explain our Netflix campaign. Mom interrupted to ask if I'd considered dental hygiene school. The memories hung in the air, undeniable. You didn't value my work because you didn't understand it. And you didn't understand it because you never respected it enough to try. I headed toward the door. The Fortune 500 committee understood. That's what matters. Where are you going? Dad stood up, trying to regain authority. I have a conference call with the Fortune 500 marketing team. They want to feature Apex in their annual report. I paused at the doorway. Then I'm flying to New York tomorrow for the awards ceremony. It's at the plaza. Black tie. You weren't invited. My phone didn't stop ringing for the next 3 hours. First my parents, then Kevin, then extended family members who'd apparently heard the news. Every call went to voicemail. The awards ceremony was everything they'd said. 200 of the country's top entrepreneurs, business leaders and innovators gathered in the plaza's grand ballroom. I gave my acceptance speech to a standing ovation, focusing on the importance of perseverance and believing in your vision even when others don't. The irony wasn't lost on me. After the ceremony, I was approached by venture capitalists interested in funding Apex's expansion, by journalists requesting interviews, by other entrepreneurs wanting to collaborate. My inbox filled with opportunities that would have seemed impossible 6 years ago when I was working 16-hour days in my tiny apartment, building something my family considered a joke. My parents' calls turned into emails. Then texts. Then a letter delivered to my office. A rambling explanation about how they'd always believed in me, and knew I'd succeed eventually. How proud they were. How they wanted to celebrate together. I filed it away without responding. Kevin sent a LinkedIn connection request with a message. Hey sis, congrats on the award. Would love to pick your brain about digital marketing strategies for my company. Maybe Apex could consult for us. I declined the request. 3 months later, at a business conference in San Francisco, I ran into Jennifer, Kevin's wife, networking in the hotel lobby. She spotted me and hurried over, all fake smiles and enthusiasm. Emma. Oh my God, congratulations on everything. We've been following your success. Kevin talks about you all the time. Does he? Absolutely. He's so proud of his little sister. She touched my arm conspiratorially. Listen, I'm actually launching a lifestyle brand and I'd love to talk to you about digital strategy. Maybe over coffee. I'm fully booked, I said not unkindly. But my agency's website has a contact form. You can submit an inquiry like any other potential client. Her smile faltered. Oh, sure. Of course. I walked away, heading toward a meeting with actual clients who'd valued my expertise long before Fortune 500 put my name in print. That night, I had dinner with 3 of my earliest clients. People who'd taken a chance on a 25-year-old with big ideas and a tiny portfolio. We laughed, shared stories, and celebrated how far we'd all come. These were the relationships that mattered. The people who'd seen my potential before the awards and accolades. My phone buzzed with another text from Mom. Sunday dinner next week? We'd love to see you. Dad wants to hear all about your business. 6 years too late. I turned off my phone and ordered another round of drinks for the table. Tomorrow I was announcing Apex's series of funding round, $15 million from a top-tier VC firm. We were expanding into international markets, hiring 20 new employees and opening a London office. My family would read about it in the business section. Just like everyone else. That was the real victory, not proving them wrong but building something so substantial that their opinions simply didn't matter anymore. Success isn't about validation from people who doubted you. It's about creating a life so fulfilling that their approval becomes irrelevant. I learned that the hard way, but I learned it well.